This woman bears the title of Ghost Leopard. She is Baki's girlfriend Kozue. Ever since she learned of Baki's impending showdown with Yujiro, Kozue returned to Baki's side without a moment's hesitation. The song echoes so soon. While Baki and Kozue were together, Yujiro was already seething with rage. The cutlery in his hands was twisted and mangled by his sheer grip. He had learned from Stridum that Baki wanted to invite him to dinner, and even expected him to handle the groceries and cooking. Such an insolent proposal truly infuriated Yujiro. Exploding with rage, he turned and stormed out of the restaurant, marching toward Baki's house with a murderous aura. Meanwhile, after his time with Kozue, Baki was leisurely brewing some Blue Mountain coffee at home. Suddenly he sensed an overwhelming presence. There is only one man capable of emitting such power: his father, Yujiro Hanma. As Yujiro's presence drew closer, Baki began to tremble with intense excitement. He hadn't expected his father to actually show up at his home. The moment he turned his head, Yujiro was already seated regally on the floor. Fortunately, Baki had just finished brewing 2 cups of coffee, tried to strike up a conversation to ease the suffocating tension. However, Yujiro gave him no response. Instead, he drained the cup in one gulp. Baki broke into a cold sweat at the sight, fearing his father would flip the table if the taste wasn't to his liking. And just as Baki feared, Yujiro roared that the coffee tasted like swill. The terrifying aura radiating from him was so intense that it made Baki's hair stand on end.
I told some guy, hey.
Unexpectedly, Baki immediately apologized. This surprising submissiveness caught even Yujiro off guard. In the next breath, Baki called Yujiro's bluff. If it's so bad, how could he have finished it all? Clearly, he was just playing his part in this family drama. Once exposed, Yujiro dropped the act, bluntly stating he had no interest in family time. He only wanted to know what Baki's real business was.
Brew me a cup.
And you. Do you want one? Are you serious? I want you to make it for me.
Never did I imagine that such a simple request sent Yujiro's adrenaline surging once again. Once. For as the world's strongest creature, to have him personally brew you coffee, the only way is to force his hand through absolute martial dominance. Whether you beat him, bash him, or even try to kill him, as long as you have the power to do it. You could even treat him like a dog. Having delivered his ultimatum, Yujiro left the room, watching his father's departing figure and the table torn into 4 pieces. Baki couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Yet, to prove he wasn't intimidated, he dashed out of the house and called out to his father, telling him that next time he must close the door gently. Hearing this, Yujiro bared a wide, menacing grin, signaling with a smirk that Baki was absolutely right.
Baki, go. Go. Even the stones in Kotobanga are in a quiet state. The motorcycle is right over there. I told him and he said he was right there.
To go that far just for a cigarette is unheard of. I don't know why I haven't shown it, but this man is imagining himself as a liquid. His very bones seem to dissolve within his mind, until finally, his entire body appears to seep into the floor. Just moments ago, Baki was deep in simulated training within his monster factory. But because his own skeletal structure was too rigid, he had been unable to break through the absolute limits of speed. Then, he noticed a cockroach scurrying across the wall. He suddenly recalled that monstrous physical prowess. Despite having such a diminutive frame, it can unleash astonishing speed in a mere instant. Scaled to human proportions, its speed would reach 270 km/h, which for a human is utterly impossible. Muscle fibers simply cannot withstand such force. While Baki wrestled with this, he recalled a dead cockroach he once saw. Besides, its rigid exoskeleton and muscles, a milky white liquid seeped from within, it seems. This liquid state is the secret to its extreme velocity. As Baki unleashed a high-speed strike, his sweat was left hanging in midair. However, just as Baki mastered this new technique, he was met by his first challenger, Chiharu Shiba, the legendary street fighting captain. Baki was puzzled by Chiharu's challenge. In terms of raw power, he was weaker than the neighbor's dog. How could he dare risk his life to challenge Baki? Yet without a single word, Chiharu launched his assault. Unimpressed, Baki didn't even take him seriously, taking down the weakling with a casual blow. Little did he know the gears of fate were already in motion. After taking Baki's punch, Chiharu didn't back down. Instead, he charged right back at him. Unsurprisingly, Baki caught him once again. But before Baki could walk away, Chiharu relentlessly lunged at him again. Losing his patience, Baki stopped holding back. He unleashed a series of smooth, punishing combos. Although he finally knocked Chiharu unconscious, Chiharu managed to land a single blow before collapsing. The reason Chiharu fought with such desperation is entirely due to orders from Kaoru Hanayama. It turns out, Hanayama Kaoru knew the ultimate father-son quarrel was imminent, but he realized that Baki was missing one crucial element, an indomitable spirit that never knows when to quit. To defeat Yujiro, this is absolutely essential. While Chiharu may not be a top-tier powerhouse, his sheer tenacity is exactly what Baki lacks. So he intended to use Chiharu to forge Baki's spirit. Returning home, Baki is once again intercepted by Chiharu. He challenges Baki yet again, just as before. Annoyed, Baki flatly refuses. Besides, he has always required a reason to engage in combat. However, Chiharu uses practice as an excuse and attacks again, but before he can even swing a fist, Baki lands a devastating slap first, and just like that, Chiharu is knocked down yet again, saying Chiharu unconscious on the ground. Baki feels a sense of gratitude, but their gap in strength is simply too vast. There's no point in continuing this, but to his surprise, as soon as Baki steps inside, Chiharu regains consciousness on the spot. He starts warming up. Right there, clearly, he is preparing for the next round of combat. Baki, resting inside, has finally reached his limit. These endless challenges have exhausted his patience. He decides to teach him a harsh lesson. Unexpectedly, Chiharu fought like a completely different man. He launched a ferocious storm-like assault on Baki. At this moment, he no longer looks like an unskilled novice. His combat prowess has multiplied several times over, and his fighting spirit has reached immeasurable heights. Arigato. Take my face.